fortunate because I saw like McGay came from Turkey, Anna came from Italy, Goji came from Japan, Marco came from Mexico. So all these other countries, these kids came in. With the young children, young people are more honest. They don't hide. They don't have the filters like adults can hide stuff or not tell you everything. But they would talk to me and tell me stuff, and so we are so far behind already, but Trump is not keeping us connected. And then I believe in my heart, just like to me that was assassination. So does he have the right then to go and assassinate Putin, his friend, or go to Rocket Man, North Korea, and assassinate him? But that to him, that's not thinkable. But then to Soleimani, I don't think it was right, because it's just more tension. There's like could have been easily World War III.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we have to de-escalate this thing, and get. But I think now with all this impeachment thing, I'm glad, because even with the Senate and the House, a lot of people are going to say, wait a minute, that's my senator talking, that's my representative talking, and they're going to see what they really stand for.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't, I don't know how they can back him.
Mm-hmm.
That's.
Yeah, one thing I feel like, I met a 97-year-old lady, and she studied political science in Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
and she's very involved in political activities. And she assured me, look at my eyes, like stare at me, said, Trump will not be elected.
That's my biggest goal, is of course I want Andrew to get in number one, but no matter what, they've got to get him out, because he's also showing where when any president will point up to the sky and say, I am the chosen one, that's crazy. And like there is this Asian professor from Harvard University, she's a professor of psychiatry.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she wrote this book, and I cannot remember the name of it, but I want to get that book. But she's in that book, she says he's a narcissist, he's a racist, he's a sexist, there's a whole, and she's right.
Yeah, it's unfortunate a lot of people
But we have
voted for him, and are still going to vote for him.
And that's one thing I try to get out is, number one, I worked in the psych unit, and I see it's like almost like seeing that, like something you want to ring, like you're crying in the wilderness. People wake up and it's like I want to say to them, don't drink the Kool-Aid. It's like I have so many people that the evangelicals. Well, a lot of these evangelicals, the top ones, are millionaires. They're billionaires. The one down in Texas, Kenneth Copeland, he brags, I'm a billionaire. How do you become a billionaire living in a big mansion, driving, and you have a Gulfstream jet, but then there's children over in Africa that are starving. Or there's children here in the United States that are hungry.
There's about 60,000 homeless kids in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Alone.
Well, in Des Moines, my husband and I took the foster care program, and I came back, and like I said, I do have association with different churches. Not that I go to them, but I go to get help for the homeless. So I'll go and ask for things. I mean, I'm
So
pretty
sweet
good,
of you.
but I beg and whatever. I say, if everyone would just bring one bar of soap to church, or one can of vegetables, one can of fruits, toothpaste, toothbrushes, towels, just the things, backpacks, tents, sleeping bags, hats, gloves, boots, coats, to church, to your churches, I can come and collect them all and stuff. And that's where I saw so many of them. I don't know if it's, I wish I could, like maybe that psychiatrist, she would know, because she, I don't know how to analyze him. But I know some things are just way off. And I don't know if the church is using him, or these evangelicals, or he's using them, but there's other people. I mean, I've got very, very dear friends that are Muslims in Des Moines. And when they come out and say some of these things, they're inciting people. Trump says things that are inciting hatred, like, and like he's even said, we'll go after him. Now that the tapes are coming out, people taped him in the White House. And I'm thinking, thank goodness. So I'm hoping people hear it from the horse's mouth, and just what he said.
That's what the lady said a lot of things going to come out.
Yes. That's
Yeah, within next few months.
Will be revealed.
Yeah, within next few months. Before the election, a lot of things will come out. That's her experience. So she looked at me like...
But the thing is, like my late husband always said, you can go to the Library of Congress, you can read every book in there, you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't apply it with that's wisdom to apply it, then you're an educated idiot. And right now, these people out here, that, you know, I'm not just saying the churches, but the people out here that are backing Trump, come on, okay? Once you get the knowledge, you know, and everything, and you hear it, and you see it with your own eyes, and you hear it with your own ears, and coming from all different people, all different wherever, then you know what? Then use some wisdom. You know, sit down with nothing else, like my husband would say, take a piece of paper, fold it in half, divide it down, put the pros and the cons, and then you make an educated decision. You know, do not just follow like in a cult. You know, then what are you going to do? Be like Jim Jones over there? You're going to be like, you know, David Koresh down in Waco? You know, you cannot be following people. You've got to, just like with myself. I've been following Andrew Yang for a long time. I've watched him, not just what he says, but what he does. You know, and it's awesome. And I look at how he treats his wife, because I think that's number one, how you treat your wife and your children. I had a special needs child, and I know he loves that boy. That's awesome. So that's my grandma said in Iowa, that's a proof in the pudding. You know, that's a proof. When you see it with your own eyes and you hear it, and not just hearing it, but seeing it, and then putting it into action. And that's what he's doing. He's got plans, and he's got people that are educated, just like yourself, that can come in and, you know, and then lift him up and then support him, and then also he will support them like Obama did, where, you know, more things can get done. The main thing is like I said, my heart right now is it's life and death. These people on the street, it's life and death. And there's more and more and more. I mean, you go to this young man here, Michael, this head of the campaign here in Oskaloosa. He tells me about San Diego. I haven't seen it.
It's pretty bad.
More and more.
More and more.
More and more homeless
Or San
people.
Francisco, you can't imagine it. It's the most wealthy city, probably. Number one, number two in the world. So many homeless.
So it's the rich
people
are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer.
Yeah.
In the military complex, if you look at the stock market,
Yeah.
my husband always followed that. And like right now, other stocks are, you know, going down, and if you listen to all the other people that are like really educated in economics, like yourself, that, you know, they're watching the stock market and they're like, that's going up. I can't remember the companies. My husband always talked about there were 3 or 4, like when Cheney would buy into that. Well, that's a conflict of interest when you have that, and then you're trying to push war. So then all the military, like the guns and all that stuff for the, you know, to supply the war, that's going up. It's like, we don't need to be in another war. We need to have somebody that, you know, is pro for everything. I mean, and we like look what we did to the Kurds. When you just go in there and leave them, and then you leave ISIS there, and then all of a sudden they're just freed out, and then Turkey comes down and lets, you know, and here the Kurds were that backed up. You know, so we did the same thing to Vietnam. We left people over there. All of a sudden we just ended the war and left people that, you know, so we can't be doing this to human beings.
Yeah, that's